Hi there. This is a tarot reading from your friendly metal dog for my fellow Scorpios, as requested by my metal dragon Aunt Penny. So for those of you that come here, I'm grateful to carry a message to you. And I am going to wait to ask a question until I pull an oracle card or two and see what we have going. My first Scorpio reading had an amazing number of views, possibly because the title was Say Yes, and it made me think that there's so many Scorpios out there who are wanting a marriage proposal, looking for love. I don't know. But the attitude of say yes, maybe that is fundamental to who we are. I think the darkness that does not scare us, that we identify with that phoenix that may burn up but will indeed rise again anew from the ashes, it can make us rather fearless, and it can make saying yes be just a code for living. So whatever that was, it was a remarkable contrast between this Scorpio crowd and the other astrological signs that I did readings for. Anyway, so today I'm going to pull a card from the Elemental Oracle, and then we'll look at the meaning of that in the image and also in the book, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the message is atoms, building. And this card is much in alignment, and I'll read the description here in a minute, of some thinking that I'm personally doing about just beginning a new world. We're building the world anew. But also, I did a reading yesterday for whoever on our relationship with our planet and how to serve the needs of our planet and to amend our relationship with our planet. It was a really cool reading. I was very moved by it. But here we see a person in a boat, and they've collected spheres from the surface of the water, various moons, and we can see out in the heavens an atomic structure, this sort of participation in the work of building on an atomic level. And sometimes I like to think about how I'm just a part of a whole, and in some ways the sense of myself is separate, as this body, as this life is just a construct. It sure feels real. On the bottom we get growth, plants. So just another sense of planet-based, earth-based building, being a part of on the atomic level, connected with everything living, all matter. Yeah, let's just go ahead and look up what this card number 40 means in this book, and then we'll come up with a question from there, hopefully. Okay, atoms, building. Everything is connected by the same building blocks of matter. You are electric and vibrating in motion. Being stagnant in your beliefs and growth is unnatural. Building and changing is natural. There is room for infinite variety. Word of power, atomos, which means undivided. Building and changing is natural. Yes, and since we Scorpios are fixed signs, it can feel, for me, this feels like having integrity. I'm not afraid of change out there. In fact, currently I'm all for death cards and towers appearing in these readings, signifying a transformation and a rebirth. But this ability for me to change and to be flexible and to be comfortable with my internal transformation, to even recognize that I need to change, that has also come with maturity. Anyway, let the cards talk. When I wake up in the morning, I go for a walk in the woods today, taking the advice of Starhawk, who gave us a great grounding meditation in her Friday rant on Facebook. Thanks to my friend Cheryl for recommending that. I went ahead and went out in the woods and put my feet on the earth and raised my arms to the sky and just simply tried to connect to my breath and to the rootedness in the earth and all the way down into the core, and to convert all of my anxiety. I'm very anxious about my planet, about my country, about the state of human relations on the world, and to just go back, to return to manifesting the vision of a socially just, healthy relationship with our planet here. So this building, the question here that the Oracle card causes me to ask is, what is the part that we Scorpios may play in building ourselves anew, or participating in building that world that we envision? And I recognize that we have a diversity of visions, and I think the explanation of the card lets me know that that's needed, that we need multiple perspectives, multiple experiences, wisdom from elders, the wisdom of fresh eyes of young people, all the generations of Scorpios. How can we respond to this moment? How can we, whatever happens on Tuesday in that election, whoever votes and whatever they vote for, I feel pretty confident of the outcome. How can we respond and be a part of building instead of tearing down? Okay, so I'm going to pull 7 cards here, and then we will look at them and clarify. This is from my new Guardian of the Night deck. It's a gorgeous deck. I'm really grateful to the artist. Okay, the recent past is the 9 of Pentacles. There is the bear hibernating, dreaming of pentacles, of salmon, wintry land outside. So this is our recent past. He's lying on a bed of leaves, red leaves. He's just a dreamy old guy here. So that would be our recent past. Perhaps in some way we have been asleep. I've felt cocooned in recent weeks. As winter comes on, it goes really quickly here from summer to winter. Sudden freeze. Suddenly we need new coats, big coats. Our present energy is the busy, dedicated work of the spider in the 7 of Pentacles. This signifies people who are putting the work in and patiently waiting the outcomes. So maybe you're doing work towards transformation, towards building this world already. And so we see the spider as a master builder as she spins her webs to catch those pentacles. This is a very practical 3D, looking at the past and the present. 9 of Pentacles is someone who is content, solitary. They have abundance and security in their life, and they are alone usually. They've made a beautiful home for themselves and have been residing there and resting there. 7 of Pentacles is a part of the putting in the labor of building that home, and that is where we are presently according to this reading. The next card is the hidden influences, what you may or may not be aware of, and we get the Queen of Cups represented here by this whale diving deep. And the Queen of Cups is emotionally mature, deep, receptive, feminine power that is we should see around us. Our emotional context is one of maturity, of openness, and she dives deep under the moon, and the moon in tarot quite often represents illusion and secrets and mystery. I noticed here the moon is red and full, and we are coming up on Halloween to a full moon, a blue moon actually, and a great opportunity, according to moon people, moon experts, to envision. And indeed, this feels to me like a time of envisioning from an emotionally mature place and of sharing that vision. The Queen of Cups shares her feelings. So that would be what is around us that we may or may not be aware of. We are entering into our reading not comfortable, and this is not far from how I feel. I might feel a little bit of Nine of Swords lately, but this is us. This is Scorpio in this reading, or you who've come to this reading. This is the Eight of Swords. It's a fascinating card in this deck. The Eight of Swords traditionally means you feel trapped, but this is an illusion. This is just a construct. In fact, your perception can shift, and you can see that, in fact, you are free. So this card emphasizes perception. I think it makes me think of an eye, but the image is really, if you look closer, of roots deep in the earth, the suggestion of a snake, owls flying around, a new moon, the possibility in the moon of new beginnings, and of that you are not under the earth, in fact, trapped, but you are under a cloudy, moonlit sky. So this is very much about shifting your perspective. And if you're in a perspective of swords up in your head, anxious, you are also free to shift out of that perspective into one of faith, love, gratitude. Remember, the Queen of Cups, emotional depth, heart, centered energy is around us here. Okay, people around us are the Page of Pentacles. This is a youthful, wonderful octopus image. The Page of Pentacles is someone with a real offer, a real 3D offer appearing in our world. This could be a friend, this can be your community. The octopus has 8 arms here. Quite a capable collaborator, I think, in rebuilding from an atomic level. And I think it's interesting, we're getting so many pentacles, which often represent money and material abundance, wealth, very 3D. But because we're talking about atoms in the reading, we can also look at these pentacles about building on that microscopic level, which is much more of a spiritual plane than in the monetary world. I leave it to you. Your Page of Pentacles, your friend, quite capable of building with 8 arms. The next card we have here is your advice. And your advice is the Lovers, represented by 2 scorpions. And in this deck, that is specific to this deck, we also see the caduceus underneath, an amazing moth, symbolizing more than normal. Often the Lovers represents Gemini, but because I see 2 scorpions here and I see a moth, I see that kind of rebirth, that transmutation, that leaving the cocoon to go forth into the night here, to carry this, if we think of scorpions having venom, right, that is coming right out of where they sting, that the snakes intertwine and the moth rising up from that. Very Phoenician, very rebirth, very transformative reading of the Lovers. Lovers can mean romantic love. And last reading, we got the 2 of Cups in our present, and there was lots about having a young friend. We see the Page of Pentacles, your person, your people, young. Again, this could be inner child. It could be people around you who are young, younger generations. So I'm feeling that's still present in this, and I'm interested in how you interpreted that. Say yes to this wonderful young person or youthful energy was the message of the last reading. So the Lovers says you have a choice, and or you have the soulmate connection. So we're choosing between the earth and the sky here, and under the earth is this red flower. Yeah, interesting to reflect on what is the choice that you have to make. That's your advice. So to make a choice. We'll see what more about that as we keep on going. And the future is the King of Wands. This is the Leo. This is the creative, passionate, masculine energy. Very beautiful king. He has a wand in his paw as well as a snake. Again, giving me a sense of rebirth. The snake in this deck can shed its skin and rise anew. So we've got octopus snakes, lots of tentacles here, little creepy crawlies under the ground, darkness, this rebirth, transformation. These are all Scorpio modes of being and of feeling comfortable in the darkness, in the underwater with the Queen of Cups. Yeah, it's very lots of underground sense here and night in these cards so far. So let's see a little bit more about this advice of choice and this future of the King of Wands, who I think of as a regular person. The King of Wands, the wands in the suit in tarot often represents the working class, everyday people, right? And we can see on his head the raven with its sunny inspiration. The wands are about passion, which is a part of love and inspiration. We have underlying Queen of Cups, that more emotional form of love. Yeah, let's just see. So we're building on an atomic level, and yeah, interesting. Very Scorpio cards, I have to say. Let's clarify each card. Nine of Pentacles, our recent past. Let's see more about this hibernating bear that we were doing just the other day or recently in our beautiful homes with winter outside and dreams of salmon. Okay, we get the Chariot. So this would be some momentum represented here by this. Is this a sloth? I've yet to receive the book explaining these, but there are lots of chickens I see around this sloth. The Chariot is about moving out of inertia and into some momentum, some power here. So you may have been hibernating or cocooning in your den as a big old bear, but you are also the Chariot. And this deck uses the heart, the anatomical heart, and the symbol there, the laurels for victory, shows up quite often in this deck. So that heart-based momentum in your recent past, and the sloth who is slow moving. Correct me if I'm wrong, and that's not a sloth, because this animal does have a kind of skunky attire with a white stripe. Could be a badger. Is it a badger? That would be, like the honey badger. He don't care. Apologies for my not being as good as Cindy on Universal Tarot, who knows all of her animals. But so this badger sloth being driven by chickens instead of the usual guy being on a chariot drawn by horses. Yeah, lots of claws here too. Okay, what else about the past? We're at 7 of Swords. Image of covert, secretive action. I see in this the panther, and out in the woods, tigers, right? So I see the separation, the feeling of separation, of suspicion, and a difference from the pack of cats out there. Beautiful animal. And thirdly, in the recent past, another big cat, the sun. That could just be that, it's giving us a time frame of summer. But the sun is actually a card of absolute happiness, wish fulfillment. So perhaps you had the opportunity recently to get really in touch with your gratitude. I have. When I'm able to get in touch with my gratitude, it makes everything that is happening, all of my uncertainty and stress in the present about what my role is, what I'm to do in this time. And I'm thinking quite a bit about that as I've shared in other readings. I'm turning 50 and I'm feeling responsible for being a grown-up in this world. And so I ground my sense of what I have to bring into the world in all of this powerful bear, badger, panther, mountain lion energy of my strength, my feline power, my muscular ability to make an impact. These are big cats, big animals here, big, brave, strong animals. And cards as well, the chariot and the sun. A little isolation perhaps in the recent past with the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. But in that, not a bad isolation. I think a kind of gathering yourself, kind of like in a hermit state, getting perspective, knowing who you are, connecting to your chariot power, your sun joy, and becoming ready to go to work here. So here we are in the present, the 7 of Pentacles. Perhaps you are doing some work to get out the vote, or I'm a teacher, so this is the time where I work, and it's a part of my contribution to social justice is to work with my students to recognize their power to affect change and to build the world that they wish to build. So thinking now about you working hard right now, being patient and waiting for the outcome. So what else do we want to know about the present? There is a 3 of Swords. This is a broken heart. This heart that we see in this deck is cut with these antlers, it looks like. Really fearsome, painful clogging of the arteries, literally, by these claws or bones. There's chains on the ground, a little bowl with feather in it, a very kind of cloudy background. So your current sensation is one of betrayal and of pain and a need to go inward and know your worth, to heal this broken heart, to give yourself the love that perhaps you were looking for out there. And we saw this heart recently in the chariot card here. Interesting. Okay, well, let's see what else about the present. Another page, the Page of Cups. I think this was in the last reading. Here's our capybara under the cherry blossoms swimming with the little red bird. A little immature love in the recent past. So it goes back to the last reading where there was some inner child or a young youthful love friend, really fun person in your life. And this person is appearing again in your present, next to your broken heart, your sense of betrayal, your hard work here in the present. And what else? Okay, you are in abundance right now. You are the 10 of Pentacles. You have the 10 of Pentacles right now. These are bees. They are buzzing on these pink flowers. They are collecting to make honey, collecting that nectar. So this is good, hard, productive abundance. Very much building in the 3D here, right now. With your heart. Your heart hurts. So I'm sorry for the broken heart. Yeah, let's see what the advice is. Remember, you are appearing here in the Eight of Swords. So this is a perspective shift that you are in right now. And so this broken heart probably has something to do with that. You probably are working right now or in action right now. And maybe you're not, then you need to feel that broken heart less. You also have this Page of Cups around you in the present. I'm not sure how that relates, but this tension between work and love, action and love. Does there need to be tension? Let's look a little bit further at these hidden influences, which we have the Queen of Cups, this emotionally mature, receptive, open-hearted queen, this mature person or energy around you or in you that you may need to get in touch with. And it's hard to get in touch with that if your heart hurts, if you're feeling like when you go in there, you want to cry. It's hard to get in there, but this story is telling you that you have a deep heart, you have emotional depths that you can go to. I went out in the woods this morning and hugged a tree, and the trees seem big enough to just, for me to relax into and feel what I might be afraid to feel when I'm at home alone. Did I shuffle this? Let me shuffle. So clarifying hidden energies, the Queen of Cups here. Yeah, I feel your pain, my friends, my family. Let's see. Queen of Cups. Oh, wonderful. This intuitive, powerful High Priestess. I love her as a bat under this moon, under the gorgeous starry night, and all these flowers. So the High Priestess, I think also because of the bat is in another deck as the Hanged Man. I think of the Hanged Man, that change of perspective. And that's not wrong to think that, because these cards are a little hard to pick up. They're very slim, easy to shuffle, nice cards. But the High Priestess is about intuitive, magical knowing and connecting. And because it makes me think of the Hanged Man and that waiting for a perspective shift. I think it's appropriate also to add this into our sense of the High Priestess. Take or leave that. But because I see this sort of worky tension with a heart that is broken, and this young Page of Cups energy right next to all the 7 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, really practical daily labor. I'm seeing an offering to shift into the Queen of Cups, to go deep, to grieve, to shift your perspective, and to intuitively know what you know, which is, remembering you're the Eight of Swords here. You're not trapped. You may exit. You are free to go. You feel underground, but in fact, you're an owl flying around the new moon. So, new moon in here quite a bit. The High Priestess also has a new moon in the sky above her. Right? This is a new start. This is a new beginning. So does the Page of Cups. Secondly, hidden energy. There is the snake I was thinking of earlier. Judgment. Rising from the old skin. Look at that powerful snake. Just electricity, atomic power. expanding out from her as she rises up into those cherry blossoms, leaving that skin down deep in the earth, that old skin. There's a little red bird who's speaking out about this. This is in your hidden energies. And of course, I saw it in your advice here with the snakes forming the caduceus, and I saw it as captive here to the King of Wands, which is in our future. So this Judgment card is about ascension to a new level of power, and that you may bring people with you, or you may be being lifted up by others. So this is in the energy around you, very powerful. Queen of Cups, the High Priestess, Judgment. So your heart's broken, and maybe you feel like a little Page of Cups, but you have some really powerful energy around you right now. And in this political moment, to see the Judgment card and the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, I see a great deal of really beautiful, feminine, powerful, transformative energy. There's in our collective, and I saw this in the reading I did yesterday about the earth and our relationship to it, there is a readiness for this transformative judgment kind of expansion. And there also is an ending afoot, a 10 of Swords. This is a next level from the betrayal that we saw in the 3 of Swords. The 10 of Swords is, this is a really, really painful card to look at, because I really have trouble looking at a little baby bird stabbed 10 times with knives and the parents up here in the nest crying. I mean, when I look at this card and I think about the grief of that mother bird, I really feel it. And I really feel how inconsolable we have this sorrow in us. Pardon me for getting a little teary here. Usually the 10 of Swords as an ending, it's like, this is dead, let it go. The sun is rising on the horizon in the 10 of Swords. I'm ready for an ending to the current regime in this nation. So for me, a 10 of Swords is welcome. But this particular 10 of Swords also shows me how absolutely traumatized I am from having this really negative, dark force afoot out in the open in our country and in the world. And it also makes me think about how the wild is feeling, how our planet is feeling and responding, and the danger that we feel for our planet in this historical moment. And our responsibility for it is clear. So here we are, the 8 of Swords. Wow, Scorpios, this is a really powerful deck and a very Scorpio reading. We can handle it, right? But woo! So how do we get out of this 8 of Swords, out of this trapped feeling, into a perspective that shows us that we can fly in this night like these owls that are circling this new moon in this card that represents Scorpio, you, the viewer, me, Scorpio, in this reading. This reading is resonating for me in ways that it's allowing me to feel some of the things that frankly are uncomfortable to feel, but which are necessary to feel in order to go through this transformation into the state of the King of Wands that is our future. I am Leo Moon, so I love to see the King of Wands in our future, that good-hearted, lion-hearted leadership. The King of Wands deserves to be a king. So I'm glad to see that in our future. Okay, clarifying us, the 8 of Swords, or you, Scorpio. First of all, you are the Ace of Cups. You are an absolute love gift in this world. You are a divine gift. You bring heart. You bring depth. You are full of this lily. You are held on these cloudy wings. And if you can see the suggestion that those clouds make a bird, that you're held in the arms of this bird-like cloud. And the feathers coming below suggest this further. It's divine love. You are a gift of divine love, absolutely. Secondly, you have and are strength. I love this card. This card came up as the future in my earth reading yesterday. This card, you can see that heart buried safely, warmly in the earth. And strength is about a predator, usually a lion, who is being calmed by a feminine power, usually a beautiful, strong woman who puts her hand in the lion's mouth. Here, she's represented by a mouse. And the fact that the mouse is safe with the snake, it has to do with love. It has to do with that heart, that living from love in those red poppies under that beautiful starry sky and that moon, the same moon that appears in the Ace of Cups that further represents you here. You can see this moon. The new moon in you is full. So this is definite contrast with the new moons that we've been seeing in other cards, in the Page of Cups, in the High Priestess, in your friend, the Page of Pentacles. So there's a full moon here, and we are soon going to be under this full moon. And I think, sorry, the cards are slippery. I want to point out that this state representing new Scorpio, the Eight of Swords, I see that sphere that is formed by that kind of bondage, that sensation of bondage. And there is a new moon in the center of that. But behind the surface, as we clarify who you are in this reading, we get these big full moons, we get the Ace of Cups, we get strength, self-control that comes from a good-hearted love. That's how I read that card. And finally, we get the Two of Swords. This is you making a decision. And when you make a decision in the Two of Swords state, this is based in the intellect. And you usually will be taking your own counsel. This little frog seems to have chosen which sword to which direction here. But yeah, this is being in a state of decision. And remember, we've already seen that here, a tension between kind of work-centered life and a heart-centered life. And I'm also feeling like in the Strength card and in the Ace of Cups, I'm feeling a kind of inclination towards love, but also possibly, and this is epitomized in the Strength card, the balance between your aspects here. Putting the heart into your work and changing the relations between a snake and a mouse through love. Yeah, and I see the snake and the mouse are much like they're sort of mirrored by the two swords in this, and their bodies coming up from the ground there. I think, and we see this in the Lover's card, Scorpios always have a decision between using that stinger, and for me it's about using my silence, being as silent as the moth there, not saying the mean thing or doing the kind of vindictive thing, and Scorpios know people. They're very observant, and they know how to hurt people. And I've at times said things that were I knew intuitively, without even being conscious, would hurt. I didn't even necessarily mean them, but I lashed out. And so when we have strength represented, we have an ability to control ourselves. We don't have to use the sharp truth here. So we can choose not to cut people with our tongues, with our stingers. Okay. Come from your heart. Be a good-hearted Scorpio with strength and willpower, the ability to control the part of you that is dangerous. Okay, we have the red octopus, Page of Pentacles, holding up this real 3D offer here, this young presence in your life, Scorpio. And this has been coming up in your readings that I've been doing. And so we've thought of several ways to think of this. Young people, your inner child, a person who seems immature to you, but who has invited you to play in our last reading. What else? Here's the Two of Cups again from our last reading. This person is making an offer of love, or is your Two of Cups, is your soulmate. And if not romantic, it can be seen as your equal. You're meeting your match. Remember, you got the Ace of Cups to represent you. Here we see your friend, this Page of Pentacles, is further clarified. You can see the lily at the bottom. You can see the caduceus that we've already seen in our advice, right? This is another encouragement somewhere in your heart to open up to this really incredible connection, whether it's with your inner child, with your people, with your world. This is an emotional connection. And you can see, we know our future is the King of Wands. There is the lion, winged lion in the sky. So the other people, the Page of Pentacles, the person, however you're interpreting this in this reading, they're a part of your decision about the future, right? So if you're in the past have been in this Nine of Pentacles, solitary, hibernating, we see all of these solitary animals, the badger, we saw a panther, we see a wildcat or mountain lion here. That's your past. This is you alone in very powerful, solitary contentment and power. And you were very clearly surrounded by really powerful energy, this Queen of Cups, the High Priestess, transformative judgment. There's this is about joining others, and you have this Ace of Cups. You are the Ace of Cups. You're going to be able to control the part of you that lashes out. You're going to choose your higher self. That's what I'm seeing already. So further clarifying your person, your people, the Four of Cups, the armadillo hanging out. This cup card traditionally is read as a person who's not seeing the Ace of Cups yet. So remembering that you are the Ace of Cups, I see this armadillo actually looking up to that cup in the sky. So it's usually that there's a bit of focus on these three, but this armadillo has already turned away from those three cups and is attentively turned to the Ace of Cup offering there in the sky. And Six of Swords, people, person. This is represented here by a turtle. Six of Swords is about movement, travel, moving from stormy waters to clear ones. It looks like this turtle is swimming to shore to maybe lay her eggs. Yeah. So your person, octopus, two elephants, the armadillo, and the Six of Swords, this turtle, sea turtle. I feel like there's a presence of water, of the sea, water signs, maybe, even though the octopus here represents Pentacles, an earth sign, because it's an octopus, I think, further of the sea, and I'm reminded of your underlying energy of the Queen of Cups. It takes me a while to do these readings with this deck because it's so gorgeous and detailed and new to me as well. So I hope you like a long reading, Scorpio. Okay. The Lovers, this is your choice. This is your advice. You have a decision to make. Remember, the Lovers represented by scorpions, caduceus, 2 snakes, a moth rising in the night. So your advice to clarify the Lovers. We get the Emperor, represented by an owl. It's interesting. He has a sword. It makes me really think of Aquarius. We also see a ram down there because the Emperor traditionally is associated with Aries. But the Emperor is institutional masculine power. So if we have a choice here, Scorpio, you also get the Knight of Cups, this classy love offer. Let's pull one more card and see if we get further clarification about the choice. And the 5 of Pentacles, we see, isn't that the owl? Yeah, so we see pentacles in cocoons. We see the little caterpillar there. It's a kind of desire to hide out in your cocoon because there's a predator out there. Usually this card is about feeling left out and powerless. But we know that when you emerge from that cocoon, right, and you've been hibernating recently, working hard, but we know when you emerge from that cocoon, you're going to be a beautiful butterfly. So your advice, this choice between the Emperor and the Knight of Cups, or a choice between a perspective of the 5 of Pentacles, which really is a passageway, a place that's uncomfortable that you want to move out of. You want to remember, and you have in your present, the 10 of Pentacles, you have plenty. You are rich, you are secure, you have a lot to bring. You have the Ace of Cups, you are the Ace of Cups, as well as strength. And you have a really deep soul connection with this person, this Page of Pentacles, 2 of Cups person in your life, this moving person. I think of them as a part of movement, and they have shifted their perspective already to look up, to recognize the love offering, whether that's in a political sense, a collective sense, or specifically about recognizing the gift that is you. So you have a choice still, though, and it is a choice of perspective, epitomized by you appearing here as an 8 of Swords, feeling trapped, but in fact, incorrectly, you are free to fly into that night. But it is the night. Okay. King of Pentacles on the bottom. Again, just to remind you, you have plenty. So don't choose to stay in the 5 of Pentacles. Emerge from your cocoon, butterfly. Phoenix, emerge from the ashes. Emerge like this gorgeous swan, this lover, this Knight of Cups. I think you can be in this is your other choice, this authoritarian, sword-carrying, gorgeous horned owl. Austere and maybe controlling, or it can be this this beautiful lover, this classy love offer. I feel this tension in me quite a lot. Sorry if I'm just inviting you to a reading for me. Okay, the future, your King of Wands, who we have looked at quite a bit already, and with anticipation of maybe seeing a little bit more about the possible future. Should you, this is a future that depends on the decision that you make here at your advice of the Lovers, between modes of being in the world. Okay? Communication, the 8 of Wands, a hawk raining down, the snake that we've seen before, in judgment, right? This is in your underlying influence, this electric snake. You see this again below the hawk. A very powerful image, much more vague than in our underlying energy. Okay. Secondly, we get the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is, again, a powerful willpower card. That wands are associated with passion, power. Nine of Wands is about having been through a struggle, survived that struggle, wiser for it. That fox knows not to mess with that porcupine, because they know those quills hurt. And so that fox is wiser. But I really relate to this porcupine who's like just kind of annoyed, sort of annoyed, crabby porcupine who has really been through some stuff and has just had it, right? So this is the future. That porcupine is tough, can defend herself. And finally, we get a beautiful clarification on our future, the Four of Wands. This is a celebration. This is unity. This is being with your best friend, your soulmate, your community, under those cherry blossoms. Happy, joyful future. Spring, under a full moon. Fireflies here. It's a very reassuring future here. I think, it's a future under a King of Wands. Whether you're the King of Wands and this is what you're bringing to the world, that kingly passion, that heart, that lion heart, you're bringing it quickly. This is movement. I feel I've been thinking about, I've been following the advice of people talking about manifest the vision that you want to see. Don't focus so much on the horror stories that we're being invited to think about right now. Focus on the endless possibilities for goodness, for hope in the world. And yes, we have been through some hard times, very hard times. Tight underwear. I'm thinking of my niece, a couple of her classic lines. We've been through discomfort. We've been pricked by quills, or we've been harassed by a fox, a wily predator. Whether you identify with the predator or the very capable prey, remember, we have in us, in the Scorpio reading, the balance, this heart-centered gentleness that comes between the predator and the prey and into our future under the King of Wands. And ultimately, a beautiful spring day under the cherry blossoms. I think of Washington, D.C. Cherry blossoms, a new, joyful regime. The Four of Wands is about stability. It is about honesty and clarity. Everything is up above the surface. It's out in the open, right? There's a lot of under the earth feeling in this reading. There's a lot of a decision between going down into the earth, which isn't bad. It's a place where Scorpio can feel comfortable, or of emerging into the sky, into public space, into this beautiful, very powerful, I would say transformed collective. And two images that make me think of this collective that we're a part of that has been transformed. This one, the snake that has shed its skin and ascended, and also this Four of Cups in our friends here, that this armadillo has twisted around and come into a new perspective of seeing that cup of love, and is in the Six of Swords in movement. And here we are in this really painful ending right now. We can become conscious of this. You might as well feel this Three of Swords feeling. You might be inclined to work and eat and avoid that feeling of pain and loss. But I think because our future looks very, very beautiful and hopeful, a new day, and we have a beautiful collective that has been changed. We have changed. I feel changed. We're ready to do the hard work of changing our world. Okay, that was a very long reading. Happy birthday, Scorpios. I'm going to keep doing Scorpio readings here for our birthday season, as I hinted I might in my first reading. And yeah, let me know if you relate to it or if you have any questions or something that makes sense. I still do see a love story here for those of you looking for that. And I'm trying to not have my readings be so much about love stories, to be a part of a bigger love that in a spiritual sense. But if you're looking for a love story, and there's this young, fun person in your life, Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, there is a Two of Cups in the Lovers in your life right now. For the rest of us who don't have that person or that Two of Cups right now, we have this other opportunity to be a part of this beautiful, heart-centered transformation in our world, in our country, within our relationship with ourselves and our friends. So, thank you for watching.